Chicago Sky, y'all stink, bro. Y'all, look, there's trash and then there's trash. You know what I'm saying? But look, man, the Chicago Sky got destroyed by the Stud Buds. Everybody watches the Stud Buds. Shout out to Courtney Williams and Tisha Heiderman, man. Listen, Stud Buds stood on business today. Nafisa Collier stood on business today. They destroyed the Chicago Sky.
In a recent giveaway show, Angel Reese distributed 9 giveaways, just like Oprah. A ball is given to you. A ball is given to you. Oh, and the Stud Buds didn't just appear. The court was transformed into their own little comedy club as they let their hair down. It wasn't a game. Real time, it was a blooper reel. Stay tuned if you've ever wondered what happens when confidence and anarchy collide. The fire is still blazing from this intense basketball brawl.
Reese had 9 turnovers. Yo, listen, y'all got to stop with this point forward foolishness, man. Let's take a look, man. Hold on, man. Y'all be wildin'. Y'all be wildin', son. Bruh, come on, man. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop, yo. Y'all gotta stop.
A triple-double would only take one more turnover. I take it you read that? Angel Reese was on the verge of becoming the most famous basketball player ever. Not the kind you put on a plaque or frame, but the kind you bury beneath the court and act as if it never occurred. There were 9 turnovers.
9.
A stat line is not what that is. That is an admission. She was out there giving the ball to struggling defenders, as if she were managing a nonprofit. Take it here. It appears that you need a quick break.
Entire WNBA and Angel Reese in garbage time. We saw it. Angel Reese last year against the Fever with like 2 minutes to go. She needed to, I think it was like 6 points and 3 rebounds. And she went and caught like 2 rebounds and then immediately goes at Victoria Saxton 3 times.
The coaching staff's involvement is the only plausible explanation at this point. It is satire of team dynamics and performance art. Because, let's face it, the lane becomes a traffic jam that would make Los Angeles blush if they attempt to put her in any actual offensive action. The pain is practically shouting, "Make it stop." Don't even consider a pick and roll when she puts her feet in there as if she were lighting a bonfire. The ball entering the hands of the opposing team is the only thing that is rolling.
Chases after this opponent, gets close to her during a box out, grabs her by her hips, and hip tosses her, throwing her to the ground. She stands up, she walks over to this opponent, bends over, screams in her face, and flips her the double bird. That's the WNBA gold. We're gonna get into it. And the laughter, oh, Angel. Oh, my angel, you're my darling. Angel. You've been playing well, Angel. I give it to you. You've been playing well. But every now and then, those stinkers, oh man.
Chases they have therefore chosen to bestow upon her the honorary title of facilitator, which is cute if you imagine it to be kindergarten basketball rather than professional basketball, rather than risking a complete offensive collapse. Facilitator, in the sense that we don't trust you to finish, so just turn it in before something goes wrong. Because she's bricking if she doesn't pass. She's flailing if she's not bricking. And when she's not flailing, she's moving far away from the rim, both physically and spiritually.
Like, there's absolutely no foul in that. She gets a good whistle, jumps up, and then goes at somebody on the other team. Who she go at? She goes at Diamond Miller, her former Maryland teammate. And, like, Angel's 1 tech off a suspension as well. And is like, anytime anyone gets into it with her, she's straight in their face. And I'm like, I don't mind that. But you just gotta be smart. To be fair, the Sky sucks, so you might as well just go and take your, I'll say it,
Bad games aren't the only thing anymore. This is the equivalent of a government cover-up in basketball. Everyone is thinking it, but nobody wants to express it aloud. Reese is truly terrible. Not a terrible night. Not a learning curve for novices. Horrible. We are conversing. She's on the floor, but why? Horrible. Some garden gnomes have more dexterity than others. Some scarecrows have more trustworthy hands. Still, she is blocking the offense like a piece of chewed gum in a vending machine slot. Heaven forbid, though, that she be benched. Oh no. Admitting defeat would be that. That would entail ending months of pointless highlight reels and PR jargon. The charade would then come to an end. As colleagues cut and duck around her like it's a fire drill, let her stand at the top of the key and make motions as though she's directing traffic. She isn't setting anything up, spoiler alert. She is only creating plays for the blooper reel. Undoubtedly, the ball will end up somewhere, but usually to someone wearing the incorrect color jersey.
Thought she was turning her season around. Just when I thought Angel Reese was graduating from pretend basketball player to make-believe basketball player, the level where it's almost believable that Angel Reese is a basketball player. Just when I thought Angel Reese would pull through in the clutch and do America a favor. With a win last night against the Minnesota Lynx, Angel Reese would have become the most popular player in the WNBA dump. Well, Casey, that's simply not possible. Caitlin Clark will always be the most popular player in the WNBA.
The worst aspect is that you can watch how the players adapt to her limits in real time. Pay attention to the distance. Observe how teammates avoid cutting her like they're avoiding a black hole. Nobody wants to be the next victim of a surprise dribble off the foot, a late screen, or a wayward pass. They seem to be using a live grenade to run plays. Chemistry isn't involved here. This is surviving. This is a rich irony. Despite all the talk about championship DNA, tenacity, and leadership, Rhea's turned into the very thing holding the team back. And not in a way that stabilizes well. Nobody knows how to swim, and we're sinking. As if having 9 turnovers isn't a serious problem, but rather a complete identity issue in basketball. As though placement, rather than merely being in the way, is what happens when you stand in the dunker spot while your teammate is double-teamed. Rhea is now solely helping the other team with their quick breaks. She doesn't initiate games. She is not the enjoyable kind of story twist.
Why people are defending this, let's get into it. Aneka Ogumike, she gets up, proceeds to get boxed out, unable to move her opponent out of the way. Aneka Ogumike retaliates, grabs her by the hips, throws her to the floor, stands over her, screams on her, flips her the double bird. Quinterly, Dallas Wings' teammate, being a good teammate, gets in the middle of the two, pushes Aneka out of the way like a good teammate should. Instead of saying, Aneka, come here, let me get you a hug. No, get up off my teammate, girl. Get up off my teammate. Aneka Ogumike can't let it.
When opposing teams begin to bait her as though she were a weak link in a fence, you know something is wrong. They want the ball to be for her. They hope she comes into contact with it. From the sidelines, you can just hear the other coach muttering, "Let her cook." The kitchen is on fire, and the meal is uncooked in the middle, as everyone knows. We haven't even discussed transition defense yet. It's like watching someone attempt to jog in flip-flops when you watch her scramble back after a turnover. Technically, there is movement, but it is primarily ornamental. Body language speaks for itself. Anger without focus, intensity without urgency, and feelings without outcomes. Thus, we return to the coaching staff. They are aware. They must be aware. You don't just happen to run into so many offensive blackouts and say, "Yes, please, more of that." This is a denial-based tactic. They've decided to take the easiest route, use her as a ruse, refer to it as development, and hope that nobody pays too much attention to the stat sheet. However, the facade persists. Social media posts featuring spectacular slow-motion films that cut just before the turnover, and press conferences full of ambiguous praise.
I'm telling you, with a win last night, Angel Reese would have surpassed the Rue from Waterloo in popularity. Now, I am not saying that her dozens of aliases would have passed Caitlin Clark, but Angel Reese herself, she definitely would have. Going into the game last night, Cheryl Reed, the head coach of the Minnesota Lynx, she told the doofus duo who refer to themselves as stud buds, she told them if they lost this game to the Chicago Bravado, they would no longer be allowed to stream on Twitch.
The entire process is a masterful example of selective editing. If you properly tell the story, perhaps people won't remember the score, or the fact that their alleged star lost her momentum and the team was blasted out. The remainder of the roster suffers in the meantime. Players who are capable of shooting, who move, and who comprehend the idea of a shot clock. Since winning is no longer the goal, they are being sacrificed on the altar of brand protection. The goal is to avoid the humiliation that comes with owning up to a mistake. The saddest part is that Angel Reese didn't request excessive attention. The triple-double is actually denial, delusion, and hype. The box score has the power to hypnotize some of you. It appears as though she just dropped a 30-piece triple-baked filet mignon after you see double-double. However, if you were to observe the game with your eyes open and your intellect working, you would realize that dominance wasn't what happened on the court. There was mayhem, chaos that is sloppy, careless, and expertly marinated. The stat lines from Angel Reese resemble clickbait headlines. Vibrant, dramatic, and nearly completely deceptive.
Lads, Angel Reese is currently about to be suspended. She has 7 technical fouls on the season. And if this was last season, in a 44-game season, she would have already been suspended. And it is genuinely one of the funny things about this is that her fans are arguing that none of the techs are warranted. They are all warranted.
Because this is the offer. She does indeed grab her rebounds, primarily the ones that land to her arms after she makes the initial shot. On the stat sheet, self-assisted rebounding need to have its own column. Taking the offensive board off your own airball is cleanup job, not hustle. When you clean up your own mess, that isn't dominance. That is merely headband janitorial work. And those points, oh, may God bless them. The team's urgent attempts to include her in the strategy account for half of the cases. It's like witnessing someone with growing panic attempt to fit a square peg through a circle hoop. She ends like someone whose controller disconnected, even if they feed her the ball like she's Shaq. Every possession is a minefield, and every shot is a gamble. Nevertheless, she will fumble into 10 points based just on volume. With the enthusiasm of a toddler throwing sparkles into the air, the ball escapes her grasp. Theoretically lovely, but disastrous in practice. When she makes another brilliant pass directly into traffic, you can practically hear the opposition defenders muttering, "Thank you."